Hello and welcome to another Roblox scripting tutorial. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a gun. This is going to have many features. It's going to have automatic. You're going to be able to change the damage, the headshot damage. You can change the max ammo and the ammo, as well as the magazine size. And you'll be able to set your own range for the gun. And it's going to have a lot of cool features. This tutorial is going to be more bark than bite, and what I mean by that is it's going to be a lot more code than it is difficult to understand or just wrap your head around. In the workspace, I have a tool, and in this tool, I have a few mesh parts. All that's inside of these mesh parts is weld constraints, and all of them attach the part they're parented under to the handle, so the tool won't fall apart. I also have a frame in here. And if I put it in the screen GUI, it just looks like this. This label is the name of the tool. This is the button that you click to reload. Do the ammo, and this is the max ammo. Inside of it, I have another thing right here that is a text button that is to reload. This is for mobile users, because this is going to have mobile compatibility. I'm just going to put this back in the tool. In this tool, I already opened it by accidentally putting that in the sounds folder. But I have a folder with sounds. It's just a basic reload and shoot sound. This is what they sound like. And this is the shoot sound. Just very basic sounds. I didn't make them, I just found them in the toolbox. I have a link to this in the description. You can get that model, and what you do is you go into your toolbox, you go to your inventory, and insert the gun. Now, the first thing we're going to do to this tool is we're just going to add a couple of scripts. They're going to be all the 3 different kinds of scripts. We're going to add a script. We're not going to change the name, but we're going to delete the code. We'll work on the server script in the next part. Then we're going to add a module script. And we're going to rename module. We're going to rename this to config, and then return config. This is going to be the first thing we edit. If I can type, this is going to be the first thing we edit. I'm going to rename the script itself to config, and then I'm going to add a local script into the tool. I'm not going to rename it, but I'm going to delete the default code. I'm going to go back into the config module script, and inside of the table, I'm going to hit enter. We're going to define some stuff for the tool, and this is the reason we're doing this in a module script is so it can be completely modular and very easy to change and edit. First thing we're going to add is debounce. This is going to be equal to false. Then we're going to do comma. You want to separate every line in a table by a comma. We're going to drop 2 lines, and we're going to type automatic. So if it's going to be an automatic gun or not, set that equal to false. Then we're going to set range. I'm going to set this to 250, but you can change it to whatever you want, of course. Max ammo is going to be, because this is a Glock 17, the magazine size is 17 on a Glock 17. So I'm going to type 17 and then multiplied by 3. You change this part, the multiplied by, you change this to however many magazines you want there to be. I want there to be 3, so I'm going to do multiplied by 3. Ammo is going to be 17. Then we're going to do magazine size equals 17. Damage equals 21. You can change this to whatever you want to. Headshot damage is equal to 42. You can change this to whatever you want. Fire rate is equal to 0.08. You can change this to whatever you want. And reload time is equal to 1.8. You can change this to whatever you want, but I chose 1.8 because that's about the time where the reload sound stops. So now we're done with the module script. I'm going to go into the local script, and at the top we're going to write just a couple of variables. We're only going to need 3 services, and we're going to need the player and their character. So those are the first 5 we're going to write. So local players equals game : get service players. Local run service equals game : get service run service. Local user input service equals game : get service user input service. Local player equals equals players dot local player. And we need the character, so local character equals player dot character or player dot character added colon wait. So if the player character doesn't exist when the script loads, then it will wait for the character to be added from the character added event. Now we need the tool and the stuff inside of it. So we're going to do local tool equals script dot parent, local sounds equals tool colon wait for child sounds, local remotes equals tool colon wait for child remotes, local GUI, we're going to get the GUI equals tool colon wait for child tool frame, local ammo label, we're going to get the ammo text label equals GUI colon wait for child ammo, local max ammo label equals GUI colon wait for child max ammo, local tool name label equals GUI colon wait for child tool name, local reload key label equals GUI colon wait for child reload key, not button, reload key, local reload btn equals GUI colon wait for child reload btn. Then just under this, we're going to type tool name label dot text equals tool dot name. So it's going to set the text of that label to the name of the tool. Then we're going to get the player's mouse. So local mouse equals player colon get mouse. Then we're going to get local camera equals workspace dot current camera. Then we need to set a reload key. This can be whatever you like it to be. So local reload key equals enum dot keycode dot r. I'm going to set it to r. Now we're going to need 4 Boolean variables. So this is going to be for if they're shooting, if they're on mobile, if they're on computer, and if they can shoot or not. So local is shooting equals false, local is mobile equals false, local is computer equals false. Then we're going to drop 2 lines, local can shoot equals true. Now we just need 1 more variable, and that is going to be local last tap pause, which is going to be the position of the last tap if they were on mobile. Now we're going to need some functions, so I'm going to create a separate area for them. For the first function we're going to need is local function equipped. Make sure I'm spelling that right, equipped. Then we're going to need local function unequipped. And in the equipped function, we're going to do GUI.parent equals player.playerGUI.screenGUI. Whatever your screen GUI is named to, you want to change this part, the playerGUI.screenGUI. You want to change screen GUI to whatever the name of your screen GUI is. So if it's named like main GUI or something, you would do player.playerGUI.mainGUI. In the unequipped function, we're going to do GUI.parent equals tool. So when they unequip the tool, it's going to set the parent of the GUI back to the tool. Now we'll need a function for updating the GUI. We're going to do local function update GUI. This is going to take 2 parameters, ammo, which is going to be a number. I'm doing this by using a colon to declare the parameter as a number. And max ammo, colon, number, because that is also a number. Then we're going to do ammo label dot text equals ammo, and max ammo label dot text equals max ammo. We don't have to do toString for this, because the way that Roblox works, if you put a number and try to set it as the text of a text label, so you try to set it as a string, it'll automatically convert it to a string. Now we just need 3 more functions. These next 2 aren't complicated, but the third one after that is a little bit more complicated. We're going to do local function activated for when the tool gets activated. So in this function, we're going to do remotes, wait for child activated, and I forgot to make the remotes folder. I am sorry about that. I will do that immediately after this. So we're going to do remotes, wait for child activated, fire server, and we're going to pass mouse.target. Back in the workspace now. In the tool, I'm going to create a folder. And I'm going to rename this folder to remotes because that's what we named it up here in the local script. This folder is only going to have 5 remotes. 4 of them are remote events, and 1 of them is a remote function. So we're going to add a remote event. We're going to call this one activated. I'm going to duplicate this with Control D, and I'm going to rename this one to get player. And I'm going to duplicate it with Control D. It's Command D on a Mac. This one's going to be called reload, and then Control D again, and this one's going to be named update GUI. And I'm pressing F2 to rename these. Then I'm going to add a remote function instead of a remote event, and this one's going to be named get data. Back in the script, we're going to create our second to last function, local function get data. This is going to have a name property, which is a string. We're going to return, just immediately on the first line, return remotes, wait for child, get data, invoke server, and in these 2 parentheses, we're going to pass the name, and that's that function done. And now this is our more complicated of the 5 functions. I'll just follow along with what I'm doing. I'll explain all of it after. We're going to do local function get mouse raycast. It's going to have the first parameter, the only parameter, pause, vector2. It's going to be a vector2. And outside of the function's parentheses, I'm going to put colon, which is what the function is going to return, raycast result. And we're going to do local ray equals camera, viewport point to ray. And this is going to take pause.x, pause.y, and 0. 0. Accidentally typed M instead of a comma. Then we're going to make raycast params. So local params equals raycast params.new. After we create that params variable, we're going to type params dot filter type equals enum.raycast filter type dot exclude. We want to exclude everything we put in this next table. So params dot filter descendants instances, just going to use autocomplete, equals a blank table. In this table, we're going to type character. So it's going to exclude all of the parts in the player's character. Now we're going to type local result equals workspace raycast ray.origin ray.direction times get data. In these 2 parentheses, we're going to type range, params. Then we're going to return result. Then we're going to start setting up some events. So tool.equipped connect equipped. Oops. And we're going to do tool.unequipped connect unequipped. Then tool.activated connect activated. After that, I'm going to drop 2 lines, and I'm going to type remotes wait for child get player fire server. We're not going to pass anything. Then we're going to do remotes wait for child update GUI dot on client event connect update GUI. Then we're going to do reload button dot activated connect function. We're going to do remotes wait for child reload fire server. Outside of that, we're going to do user input service dot input began connect function. This is going to take 2 parameters, the input and game processed event. In this, we're going to do if game processed event, then return end. You don't need to worry about what game processed event is. Then after that, we're going to do if input dot key code equals reload key. Then after that, we're going to do remotes colon wait for child reload colon fire server. Outside of this, we can actually just copy this whole thing, paste it down here, change input began to input ended. And we're going to change this if statement to if input dot user input type equals enum dot user input type dot touch then is shooting equals false. Outside of input ended, we're going to do user input service dot touch tap in world colon connect function. Then we're going to get pause and processed by UI. If processed by UI, then return end. And we're going to do local result equals get mouse raycast pause if result and result dot instance. Then we're going to do remotes colon wait for child activated colon fire server result dot instance. Outside of this touch tab in world connection, we're going to do user input service dot touch tap colon connect. Outside of this touch tap in world connection, we're going to do user input service dot touch tap colon connect function. This is going to take two parameters, touch positions and game processed event. If game processed event, then return end. And we're going to do last pause equals vector2 dot new, not vector3, touch positions open square bracket 1 close square bracket dot x comma touch positions open square bracket 1 close square bracket dot y. Outside of that user input service, we're going to do mouse dot button 1 down colon connect function is shooting equals true. Then we're going outside of that, we're going to do mouse dot button 1 up colon connect function. And we're going to do is shooting equals false. Outside of that, we're going to have a very big if statement. It will look scary, but it is self-explanatory. If user input service dot touch enabled and not user input service dot keyboard enabled and not user input service dot mouse enabled, then is mobile equals true. Reload btn dot visible equals false. I spelt that wrong. Reload button. And we're going to do reload key label dot visible equals false. I did this wrong. We're going to do reload button dot visible equals true. So what this is going to do is if they're on mobile because they have touch enabled and they don't have a keyboard or mouse enabled, then we're going to set that reload button visible to true, and we're going to set the reload key label visible to false, so they can't see that. After that, we're going to type else if user input service dot keyboard enabled and user input service dot mouse enabled and not user input service dot touch enabled. Then we're going to do is computer equals true, reload btn dot visible equals false, and reload key label dot visible equals true. Outside of that, we're going to do run service dot render stepped colon connect function, and we're going to do if is shooting and can shoot, then can shoot equals false. If is mobile, then local result equals get mouse raycast last tap pause. If result and result dot instance, then remotes colon wait for child activated fire server result.instance, and then outside of this if result if statement, so in the is mobile if statement, we're going to type else. We're going to type else if is computer, then remotes wait for child activated fire server mouse.target. Outside of that if statement entirely, so in the if is shooting if statement, we're going to type task.wait get data fire rate. That is a string. Make sure that's closed with 2 parentheses. Can shoot equals true. So this will set up our automatic if it is automatic. Actually, I forgot something. We need to do above this if statement. I'm going to control X this to cut it. We're going to do if get data automatic then, and I'm going to paste that back. So now if it is automatic, then it will do all of this. If I didn't add this, then it would have shot automatically, even if this was set to false. So in this server script, we're going to write some more variables. So we're going to need 2 services, local players equals game get service players, and we're going to need the run service. So local run service equals game get service run service. Then we're going to write 2 blank variables, so local player and local character. Then we need the tool, and we need a fire point part. We're going to need a few more variables. We're going to need the tool and some parts inside of it. And while I was creating this remotes folder, I forgot another thing. We need a fire point. I'm going to duplicate this handle, and I'm going to rename it to fire point. I forgot to show you to do this. I'm going to set its visible to true. I'm going to turn my move to 0 studs, so it's completely off. I'm going to copy the position of the slide, not the size, the position, fire point, and then paste that position into there. And I'm going to make it really tiny. I'm going to make it size 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. And I'm going to move it out here. And I'm just going to align it with the barrel of the gun. Now we can set its transparency back to 1, make sure can collide is false. We're going to add a weld constraint inside of it. Part 0 of the weld constraint is going to be fire point, and part 1 is going to be handle. So it is welded to the handle, and it can't fall off. Now back in the script, we're going to get some variables for the tool. So local tool equals script.parent. Then we need the fire point that we just created. So local fire point equals tool wait for child fire point. Then we need the remotes folder, so local remotes equals tool wait for child remotes. Then we need the sounds folder, so local sounds equals tool wait for child sounds. Now we need 3 variables. We're going to need the tool GUI, the ammo label, and the max ammo label. So local GUI equals tool wait for child tool frame. Local ammo label equals GUI wait for child ammo. And local max ammo label equals GUI wait for child max ammo. We actually do not need those 2 variables. I lied. I am so sorry about that. We're going to need 2 Boolean variables, which is going to be local equipped equals false, and local is reloading equals false. Then we need 1 last variable, which is going to be getting the config module script. And to do that, we're going to do local config equals require, because we're getting a module script, script wait for child config. So now we have access to all of the stuff in the config module script. Now we need to write some functions. We only need 5 functions. The first one we need is local function update GUI. This takes no parameters. Remotes, wait for child, update GUI, fire client, player, config.ammo, and config.maxammo. This is underlined orange right now, but that will fix later when we get to writing at the bottom of the script towards the end. Now we need another function, local function equipped, and we need another local function unequipped, just like in the local script. In the equipped function, we're going to do equipped equals true, and in the unequipped function, we're going to do equipped equals false. Now we need a function for reloading, so we're going to do local function reload. This takes no parameters. If config.ammo equals config.maxammo, then return end. After this if statement, we're going to do is reloading equals true, sounds wait for child, reload play. So it will play that sound. Then we're going to do task.wait config.reload time. Then we're going to get local difference equals 2 parentheses config.magazine size minus config.ammo. Then we're going to do config.ammo equals config.magazine size. Then we're going to do config.maxammo minus equals difference. So what this is going to do is it's going to subtract the difference from the max ammo. Doing minus equals is the equivalent of doing equals config.maxammo minus difference, but this shortens and simplifies it, so we don't have to do that. Then we're going to call our update GUI function. Then we're going to set is reloading equals false. Outside of the reload function, we're going to write our last function, which will seem a little scary, but I will do my best to explain it. I'm going to do local function shoot. This takes 2 parameters, PLR and mouse target. In this function, the first thing we're going to type is if config.debounce or is reloading or config.ammo is less than or equal to 0, then return end. After that, we're going to do sounds.shoot play config.debounce equals true, config.ammo minus equals 1. We're going to update the GUI, so we're going to call the update GUI function. Then we're going to do if mouse target, then we're going to do local character hit equals mouse target dot parent, and we're going to do local humanoid humanoid, so we're going to declare it as a humanoid, equals character hit find first child humanoid. And we're going to do if humanoid, then local distance equals 2 parentheses firepoint dot position minus mouse target dot position dot magnitude. And we're going to check if distance is less than or equal to config.range, then if mouse target dot name is not equal to head in a string like this, then humanoid take damage config.damage. Then we're going to do else humanoid take damage config.headshot damage. Then outside of these 4 if statements, so you should go down 4 ends, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to drop 2 lines, task.wait, config.firerate, config.debounce, tool.debounce equals false. And that's that function done. Now we just need to connect everything that we did from the local script. So first thing we're going to do before we do that is we're going to do the tool.equipped and tool.unequipped events. So tool.equipped :connect equipped tool.unequipped :connect unequipped. Then we're going to do remotes :wait for child activated .onServer event :connect shoot remotes :wait for child reload .onServer event :connect reload. Then we're going to do remotes :wait for child get player .onServer event :connect function. This is going to take the player parameter, but we're going to do PLR. So we're going to do player equals PLR. Then we're going to do character equals PLR.character or PLR.character added :wait. Outside of this remote event, we're going to do remotes :wait for child get data .onServer invoke. Because it is a remote function, this is going to equal function. This is going to take the PLR parameter again, and it's also going to take name. We're going to return config, open square bracket, name, close square bracket. And that is our gun finished. I'm going to put it into the starter pack, and I'm going to playtest this. When I load in, I can pull out the gun. If I shoot them there, they're going to take damage, but if I shoot them in the head, they take more damage, and they die. Now if I press R, it reloads the gun, and it subtracts the amount that we reloaded from the max ammo. So if I shoot all of them, and I press reload, that will be equal to 30. Now I'm going to go up to test, I'm going to select device, and I'm going to select any mobile device. I already have it on iPhone 6. And before I do that, I'm going to go into the local script, and to prove to you that testing this on phone works, I'm going to do this in the touch tap in world. I'm going to print result. This is the only print we have in any script, and this only works on mobile. This user input service.touch tap in world. This will only work on mobile devices. So when I join the game, you'll see when I fire, it's getting the raycast result. And I can walk around. I can shoot them in the head and they die. And now that is our gun complete. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you found it useful. I hope you join me in my next scripting tutorial. Goodbye!